Will BTS's Jin make a big splash after his military service? Who is the mysterious artist who will perform with him? And why does the phrase, "let's sing together, don't say you love me," give the army goosebumps? All eyes are now on New York, where the hottest rumors of the year have begun to spread. Is it a global comeback or a hidden message deeper than just a song? Uproar. BTS's Jin rumored to perform in NYC, with a great artist who will be with him. Why would a seemingly simple Instagram upload shake up one fandom around the world? How could one humble room filled with guitars and keyboards spark speculation that set millions of ARMY hearts racing? And is it true that BTS's Jin, a man known for his golden voice and warmth, is preparing something that will not only change the direction of his solo career, but also burn back the hopes that had been held back? May 24th, 2025 should be a normal day. However, for those who watched Woodio's every move, the mysterious little animated character who became Jin's alter ego in the days before his enlistment, that day became something of an emotional outburst. Woodio's official Instagram account, which has been quiet since Jin entered the military, suddenly uploaded a series of photos that not only thrilled, but also provoked thousands of theories from loyal fans. The photos show Jin in a space familiar to music fans, a studio room with warm lighting, equipped with an acoustic guitar, keyboard, and microphone that Jin seems to be using to sing. But wait a minute. There is something that makes this upload so much more dramatic than just a photo of Jin singing. A sentence appears in the caption. Not the lyrics of the songs we know, not even quotes from previous BTS songs. The phrase reads, "Let's sing together. Don't say you love me." Such a simple sentence, but it carries an incredible emotional load. Is this a message to the army? Is this code for someone who was once close to him? Or are these the lyrics of a new song that no one has heard? There's been no official statement from HYB. There has been no clarification from the American agency. But the excitement has already spread widely. In less than an hour, the post reached millions of likes and comments, with speculation ranging from a possible collaboration to a deeper conspiracy. Will Jin be the only BTS member to debut solo on the world's biggest stage after the military in New York City? Why New York? And more importantly, why in a space that strongly resembles the studio of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon? The observant army instantly recognized the elements in the photo. Classical guitar displayed on the wall, dark blue chairs are often used by guests of the event, as well as studio lights that point directly towards the place where Jin stood. Is this a coincidence? Or is there a reason why the room looks so much like the band's living room on Jimmy Fallon's show? Does this mean that Jin will be a surprise guest on the show? If so, why was everything done secretly? What's even more confusing, Woodio's account doesn't just feature a single photo. There are more than 3 different photos, each from a different point of view, as if conveying one narrative, that the genie is not just rehearsing, but is preparing to perform. And more surprisingly, there is a faint shadow in one of the frames. A figure with curls, dressed in a black hoodie, stands behind a genie with a hand holding a guitar. Who is he? In a short time, fans began to speculate about a possible collaboration with a great musician from America. Some call Charlie Puth. Their track record in left and right has already proven explosive. But this time there were other, much more surprising rumors. Names like John Mayer, Harry Styles, even Olivia Rodrigo were dragged into the discussion. Is it true that Jin will duet with a top American singer in a special event in New York? Or is this part of his debut album that has been rumored to be postponed due to personal considerations? Is the phrase "don't say you love me" a story of heartbreak that he has never revealed to the public? This question resonates not only in Korea, but throughout the world. Jin is not an idol. He is a symbol of BTS warmth, a face that always shows a smile when a storm hits, and a voice that can make anyone feel comfortable, even in the midst of destruction. So when he returns, the world can't just see him as the Jin of BTS. He is an artist who brings wounds, love, and hope in one harmony. It is undeniable that Jin's comeback became a very emotional moment for fans. His military time, even if it was only a few months, felt like a century. Many said that the genie seemed more mature, quieter, and even stronger than before. But not a few also feel that behind the calm, there is something unfinished. A story that is not closed. And maybe, just maybe, his new song will be the answer to it all. However, one thing that really hit ARMY was the timing of the upload. May 24th. A day that indirectly reminded many fans of one emotional event in BTS history. The day Jin once wrote the most touching letter to fans before enlisting in the military. Is this a coincidence? Or is the genie trying to connect the red thread of her old story to the new chapter she is about to open? Obviously, the atmosphere is now very stressful. HYB, shut up. Fallon hasn't given a leak yet. Woodio gives only one enigmatic sentence. And Jin? He still hasn't uploaded anything from his personal account since this news came out. Silence is too deep. A silence that feels like a storm before a big bang. But one question is inevitable. Will Jin return not just as a BTS member, but as the first Korean solo legend to set foot on the Fallon stage with a global artist? Imagine the scenario. Lights out. Music starts playing. The camera sweeps the faces of the audience. And in the middle of the stage, Jin stood with a microphone in hand. The first line he sang was not "Hello, not ARMY," but "Let's sing together. Don't say you love me." A message, a story, a confession, and behind the stage, a great artist who had been a mystery walked forward, joined him, creating an emotional duet that would shatter the records of YouTube, Spotify, and even the history of global live performances. Are we ready for that? Is the world ready for a new genie? Deeper, more emotional, and bolder? And the biggest question of all, is it just about the music? Or about something much more personal that Jin has been keeping to herself? We all know that Jin is not just an idol. It's a mystery buried deep in the stillness of her smile, in her way of answering media questions with a laugh that always sounds genuine, but actually holds thousands of words that are never said. So when a picture of him appeared in a room that was almost identical to Fallon's studio, and when he chose to be silent, the world became rowdy. Why did Jin choose to be silent? Why is it that none of his official accounts show any signs that he will perform? And why is everything done through the account of Woodio, a cute character who was once only seen as a gimmick, now suddenly seems like the only door to understanding the real genie? The ARMY begins to unravel the history of Jin and Woodio. They remember how Jin created Woodio as a representation of himself who wants to be free, who wants to fly around the world without restrictions. Now, with the new post, many are starting to question, is Jin using Woodio to say something that is too heavy if said directly by himself? One of the most viral comments on X, formerly Twitter, reads, Jin once said, Woodio is him in his most innocent form. So if Woodio now says, don't say you love me, it means Jin himself is grappling with a love he can't reciprocate. This sentence caused an emotional wave that was not playful. Fans from around the world began to associate the words with Jin's time in the military, a time that for many fans was a period of loss, emptiness, and uncertain hope. They began to wonder, did the Jin experience anything during that time? Was there a wound he never showed? Or is this song an open letter to someone who once touched his life, but couldn't have it? We can't ignore the fact that Jin is the only BTS member who shows a deep affinity with metaphors and symbols. In Project The Astronaut, he portrayed himself as an extraterrestrial being lost on Earth, looking for a place that could be called home. But now, is his new song a sign that he never really found the house? And if indeed the performance will take place, who will stand with him on stage? Rumors about the presence of a major American artist who will perform with Jin are not just a breeze past. Many industry watchers are starting to realize that some of the top musicians were spotted in New York at a time very close to Woodio's upload. One of them is Olivia Rodrigo, who suddenly uploaded an Insta story about collaborating with someone I've always respected from afar, without naming names. And more surprisingly, the upload was deleted a few minutes later. I asked Olivia the mysterious figure behind the genie in the photo, or is it more than just a vocal collaboration? Is this a duet that holds an emotional meaning that we have not seen in the history of Jin's performances before? On the other hand, ARMY also found a hint from an old broadcast of Jimmy Fallon, who once said, if Jin ever comes here solo, we'll have something very special prepared for him. Those words used to be just taken as pleasantries. But today, That sentence became like a code that was finally unlocked. Then why is everything hidden? Why did Jin and his team choose an enigmatic path instead of a massive promotion? One theory is that this is part of a deliberate emotional strategy. HYB may realize that Jin has an emotional appeal that goes far beyond ordinary promotions. By creating a mystery, they're letting ARMY form their own. One 13-second video, uploaded without sound, shook the world. Not uploaded by HYB official account. Not through Jin's account, but by a production staff member who accidentally filmed the image of a man with a posture that was too familiar, too similar to a figure who had not appeared in front of the camera for a long time. Jin, he was seen walking briskly down a corridor known as the back hallway to NBC's studio prep room in New York. The camera does not record his face clearly. But the ARMY, in less than 2 minutes, had deployed more than 40 photo analyses. All those characteristics are there. The gait, the position of the hands when holding the folder, and even the direction of the glances of the eyes that seem to be looking for something or someone. However, one thing that makes our hearts tremble is the fact that even though he's back, even though he's in a place that should be in the spotlight, Jin looks on his OW and NOHYB staff behind him. No smiles. There was no look of excitement as usual as he prepared to perform, and instantly, all the rumors that were previously considered far-fetched turned into pieces of a puzzle that came together. Did Jin have to show up? Was the song "Don't Say You Love Me" a message of despair because he felt he had no choice but to meet the expectations of the public? Or is the song a farewell letter? The question is not just speculation. An internal source, who chose anonymity, from one of the major music platforms revealed that the working title of the song before mastering was Dawn Letter, which means Letter of Dawn. Jin said to me, he wants this song to sound like a person standing on the edge of the morning. After last night crying quietly, he revealed, the sentence was too piercing to be taken lightly. What if all of this, from Woodio's posts, from the mysterious images, from the wistful lyrics, is Jin building a final narrative before he takes the big step none of us expected? What if he wants us to stop loving him? And it's not because he doesn't love back, but because the burden of love itself is too painful to live in silence. The voice finally sounded. But why was everyone silent? Leaked footage from inside Fallon studio circulated quickly on the fanbase's Discord. Jin Yang's voice sounded deeper, slower, as if his every word was carefully chosen. Don't Tell Me You Love Me is a sad song. This is a confession song. Wound song. The song of a man who has been pretending to be strong for too long. The song opens with a real breath. Not a sound effect, but the genie's own breath before he began to sing the first stanza. I held your voice like it was mine, but every echo broke my bones. And that very second, everyone watching froze. None of the comments appeared for 2 minutes. Even big booth accounts like @JinGlobal and @seokjin charts didn't pen a single letter, because this time, the genie didn't sing to cheer up. He sings to say goodbye to the wounds he has long kept to himself. But is this really goodbye? When the song ended, the genie did not smile. IT does not bend. He just stared at the camera, long, very long, and said one sentence slowly. I'll sing again, if I'm ready to love again. That sentence didn't just rock Fallon staged. IT shook the world. Do you want to see Jin again? Is this his last appearance? Or is this a new chapter where Jin finally chooses himself, not as part of anyone's expectations? No confirmation yet. There is no official announcement yet. But one thing we can be sure of after witnessing all this is, we have just witnessed not just an appearance, but a statement of the soul. Jin stood on stage that night not as an idol, but as a human being who once loved so much and now wants to heal. Now the question is, who is he talking to? Who does he ask to no longer confess love? Speculation came from all corners. Some fans insist this song is an open letter to ARMY. That genie wanted to say, thank you, but let me breathe. But there are also those who believe that these lyrics are too personal to be aimed at the masses. That maybe, just maybe, there is one person, someone who once really touched Jin's life, and who is now, through this song, finally released. Who's that guy? Nobody knows. But rumor has it that a Korean female celebrity was seen arriving in New York 2 days before Fallon's recording was done, and leaving quietly the day after. The ARMY split in two. Some feel disappointed. Some feel more in love with Jin than before. But the one feeling that holds it all together